So Billy Fetzner, is that how you say your name, Billy Fetzner?
Yes, you got it.
Great, great. And your company, Sugriel, how do you say that? Su-
Yeah, Sugriel, you got it.
Sugriel, Sugriel Company. And where does the name Sugriel come from?
So the name Sugriel comes from sustainable green leads. So I took
Ah,
the first couple letters from each word and put them all together to Sugriel.
mhm.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So, can you tell me a little summary about your company and what you do?
Sure. So at Sugriel, we help green business owners who are really fighting against climate change. So they're in the stakes. They're doing what they need to do to make sure that the world reaches our goals of net zero and those goals that we're trying to reach for climate change so that we don't hit that 2 degrees Celsius, those irreversible states for the planet. And they're trying to reverse that. And I help those companies be able to get out their message, spread their message among everybody so that we can really help them grow and get bigger and bigger so that they can have more and more of an impact. And that's really the big reason why I started Sugriel, was because I thought, I could be a person who, I originally got a master's degree in biology, and I was looking to uh, help and by studying the behavior of endangered species. And then after that, I realized, I could have a bigger impact if I worked on the climate, because if the climate goes crazy and we can't all live here, there's no point in trying to save one single species because the entire climate is gone and every species can't live. So if we can work towards the climate, that's a better way. But then I thought, okay, if not the climate directly, if I'm just one company, I can have a small impact. But if I can create a marketing agency where I'm helping a bunch of green businesses grow, I can have an even bigger impact, because all of these green companies, they're also increasing, they're also growing, they're also getting bigger, and I can really, have an, exponential impact on the world and have us actually make those climate change goals, those goals that we're trying to hit, so that we don't incur all the crazy bad scenarios that are projected for climate change right now.
Ah, I see. Wow. That says a lot. That says a lot. So that's pretty much the mission of your company then. Is that what you're just talking about,
Yeah,
net
definitely. And
zero and
yeah, definitely. I'm trying to help companies grow as big as we can get them so that they can have a bigger impact, because we really need all of those companies to succeed, because we have to hit those net zero goals to really be able to survive and sustain, because that's a huge thing is sustainability right now for companies. How are you going to last for the next 20 years, 50 years, however long, right? And you can't be just depleting all of your resources. Well, these companies, these sustainable companies, especially like environmental consultants and things like that, who are working with these companies to make them more sustainable, that's so important, because it's all about long term now. You can't just think that it's going to be eternal and we're just going to use all the resources and get it as quickly as possible, because we're realizing that nothing is unlimited. And that's really what's happening now. There's this huge shift away from thinking that every resources are unlimited to thinking, okay, we have a finite amount of resources. How can we use them efficiently and effectively, but then also reuse them so that down the line, we don't just completely lose the feed out from our business because of the fact that all our resources are gone. So we need to make sure that we can sustainably grow the company to bigger and better heights.
so sustainability is really about a cycle, creating a cycle
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
that you can sustain. You can keep it going on and on and on. Right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a huge part of the circular economy, which is a very a big part of some of the people that I work with, especially with these consultants who are working environmental consultants, they are big on the circular economy and going into these companies and really strategizing and figuring out ways to make the company have a chance to have their product go through its life cycle, but then also be brought back, because everything dies eventually. But being able to bring it back into the system, those key resources, and bring it back instead of going out there and harvesting new resources, but finding a way to make it circular. And one of the companies that I've talked to before, they were really big on systems. So it's not just one company alone can't be completely sustainable in all ways. You need to have other companies that will support you in making your company sustainable, because you always have things that you need from other companies. So you need certain resources from this company, and you buy paper from that company. Like, you have to have a way to make your whole system sustainable, not just your single little business.
Right. And the interdependency of that is a strength, actually. Having a
Yes.
diverse network of resources and companies you can work with, you're stronger together. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Stronger together. I love it.
Excellent. Excellent. So let's drop back a little bit. Your marketing, you talked a little bit about the aim of your marketing. How'd you get here? What's the backstory of you coming to create your marketing agency?
Yeah, sure. So it really all started back about 17 months ago when my son was born. He really kicked off my desire to be an entrepreneur, because I was like, oh, wow, this direction that I'm headed down right now of being an employee, this is not really the way I want to go. And so I started, exploring different avenues. And then I was helping my mother-in-law and a friend of mine. They were trying to grow their businesses. And one of the big things that we needed were leads. We needed to figure out, how can we go get leads? What is the best way to go get leads? And obviously we were working on a startup budget, meaning like barely anything. And so I needed to find ways to go out there and generate free leads that we could get people in the door, really grow some presence, right? And so I was searching out online and trying to figure out, okay, what is the best way to do this? And I landed on a great model of how I can use LinkedIn and social media to be able to generate those free leads, bring them in. And it started working pretty well for my mother-in-law and for my friend of mine, for their businesses. And so I said, hey, I could take this and I could help some of the people that I really want to help, which are the people who are working to fight against climate change, because I think that's a huge issue that we need to solve. And not that my mother-in-law or my friend were important to me. They're very important too, and their businesses are great. But just that, this is a thing that is really important to me personally. Just I've always been very enthusiastic about the environment and everything. So being able to work with people who are doing such great work at fighting the climate crisis was just really important to me. And I knew I wanted to niche down and be able to work just with those people. So
Yeah, gotcha.
that's
So,
a
so
little bit
I
about
asked,
how I got here. Sure.
so who would be the perfect prospect for your marketing agency?
The perfect prospect for me would be any business who is fighting against the climate crisis through their business that they're doing. So they are either an environmental consultant, like I mentioned before, or they're working towards the circular economy, or they are a green energy company. So they're in solar, wind, hydrogen. They are doing bioremediation. So they're going into the environment and trying to remediate in some way, taking chemicals out of the soil, being able to refurbish different landscapes. Those are great. All of those are really great clients, especially those that are usually under 50 employees, because I really like working with the smaller companies, the startups, so we can really kind of really get in there and get nitty gritty and grow the businesses together. So it's been those are definitely the people that I love to work with.
Awesome. Where do you look for those folks?
I generally use LinkedIn. It's just like how I teach my clients and work with my clients. I go out on LinkedIn and generate these leads through LinkedIn by going out there and connecting with people, sending them through a sequence where I can really nurture them in a new way that can really develop and develop relationships. Because especially with the B2B clients that I work with, B2B relationships aren't going to be made in a single day. You're not selling some like $7 product or something where it's just going to be like a little opt-in page and then they buy, right? No, it's, especially with B2B, it's going to be more long-term, and you're going to really need to nurture that relationship, because you really have to get somebody that is going to either be the decision maker themselves, or somebody who can be the spokesperson for you when they go and present this to everybody else in their company. So you really got to be able to build that relationship, build that rapport, show that you're a awesome person that they want to work with, and be able to work with them there. So when I help my clients go out on LinkedIn and do this, we're really trying to do that. And one way that I found has been really effective for the people that I worked with, and also for my company, is we're going about and building YouTube videos, which is why I have my new YouTube channel, the Green Business Impact. Little shout out there, love and support. It's growing, and it's an area where I'm able to interview these companies and show what the great work they're doing. And it's also a way that we can repurpose that in so many different ways, because you can take a YouTube video and you can split it up into multiple different social media posts on multiple different sites. You can use that for a blog post. You can use it in so many different ways. So I've really found that video can be really, really effective, not only at engaging customers and engaging potential clients, but also in being able to really connect, and also be able to repurpose that content in multiple different ways.
Awesome. That's fantastic. That's another way of recycling and create a cycle. Awesome.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Definitely.
very cool. What do you find the biggest struggle in trying to market your marketing agency online and on social media?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest struggle that I find, and biggest struggle that I've seen from my clients, is really just, you know, being able to build that relationship, because so many people are out there and they're just throwing spaghetti against the wall, seeing if it sticks, right? So they're just mass spraying all these different messages. And so some people, when you try to just, approach them and try to, generate conversation, they think you're just trying to sell them something, and they, either stop answering or whatever. So it's a lot of, you really gotta, you put yourself out there and you really try to help people along, but it's a lot of just keep on consistency. So, keep on going out there, generating those leads, keeping on out there, and keep on sending those messages, and that consistency, and posting that content, commenting on other people's content. It's all the consistency and engagement really have to be there for success
Mhm.
on social media.
So, where have you found your biggest success so far? Where have you
Yeah. So
seen?
like
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Go
like I was mentioning before, really being able to go and use videos,
ahead.
especially because of that factor, that engagement factor is just
Mhm,
just huge. And then also, since I use my YouTube channel as well,
mhm,
being able to generate views on there, and
mm,
also get comments
I
and
see.
shares and likes. And the other great thing too, it's like, especially with the fact that I'm interviewing companies
Mm,
in this, they get to promote that video to
mm,
their in audience as
right.
well. So
Right.
not only is it just my audience and my connections, but whoever I interviewed, they can use their connections, their
Awesome.
audiences. So
Awesome.
especially when they have a lot of connections on LinkedIn, like
Right.
maybe they have
Right.
10,000 connections or
Right.
20,000 or whatever,
Mhm.
you can really leverage that to make that post get a lot more engagement. So.
That's the best part about the whole thing, that exponential factor. And I can see
Mhm.
through the video and through the interviews with these different companies, and you create something. The interview is something they're interested in sharing because they're telling their story, that how that's a great recipe for success. That's really fantastic. What are your goals for your marketing agency in 2022?
Really just doubling down on video. Before we were focused a lot on, text content and doing a lot of outreach and things like that, but now just really focusing on the YouTube channel, growing that channel, and also being able to use that, uh, leverage our LinkedIn following to be able to really grow that YouTube channel, and then also be able to, spread onto to other channels and really just get our face as many places as possible. Because that's what a lot of social media and internet marketing and for any company is. It's getting yourself in as many different places and in as many different mediums as possible. And video creates such a great way to be able to do that, because you can repurpose it in so many different ways. You can repurpose it as text, you can repurpose it as audio, you can have the video posted in multiple different places. So because of that factor, it just makes it so much easier than just like if you wrote a text. Like, sure, I guess you could, create a video of yourself saying that text, or you could record yourself audioing it. But if you just did the video from the beginning, there you go. So it
Mhm.
makes it so much easier.
That's fantastic. So I think I know the answer to this, but I was going to ask what your number one tip for someone looking to market their green business on social media would be. And I'm guessing you're going to mention video in your answer.
Uh, Text. No, yes, video all day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
Yes.
fantastic. So if somebody's watching this interview and interested to learn more or wants to get in touch with you, what's the number one way for them to do so?
Reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's still the
Ah,
best way. LinkedIn is so easy to direct message and
right.
really be able to connect. Definitely reach out on LinkedIn. If you want to learn more about our content, check out YouTube.
Fantastic. Looking forward to checking out more of your information. Thank you so much, Billy Fetzner.
Thanks, Cliff. I really appreciate it. It
You're
was it
welcome.
was awesome being here.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.